Well, let's take you now to London. During the just concluded Global Disabilities Summit that was held in London, Safaricom, together with other private sector players, launched a partnership focused on economic empowerment for people with disabilities. The initiative aims to drive inclusive economic development for people with disabilities through core business rather than corporate social responsibility. Alex Chamwada, our partner Charles Media, had a one-on-one interview with Safaricom CEO Bob Collymore on the role of the private sector in the economic empowerment of persons with disabilities. Let's take a listen in.
Inclusive way. We believe that if we as a company, first of all, can be a diverse company, we can then start to address some of the challenges that society faces. And a large part of the problems that society faces is related to people with disability. 10% of the Kenyan population have a disability. That's 4.4 million people. So if we want to address our customer base properly, we have to be able to meet some of these challenges.
At Safaricom, where do you want to be? Currently, I understand you're at 1.7% in terms of employment for persons with disabilities. Where do you want to be?
Although people kind of celebrate us because that's a lot, and even if you look at this community here today, we're still much more than many other companies, not just in Kenya, but across the world. But I still don't think that's enough, because remember I said that 10% of the Kenyan population are people with disability. And so if I'm only providing opportunities for 1.7%, that's not good enough. We have set ourselves a target of hitting 5% by the year 2020.
What other opportunities do you have for persons with disabilities?
Some of the things that you and I take for granted, people with disability, for them it's a huge mountain. So if you think, for example, of a customer who calls the call center who might be visually impaired, and the call center operative says, tell me what it says on your screen. Well, I can't, because I can't see the screen. Or what about people who are deaf? How do they access Safaricom? So actually now we're hiring people who are deaf. We are training our own people, incidentally, in sign language, and we're finding alternative ways for our customers to access us. And that simple task of being able to use that thing that you take for granted, which is your mobile phone, the simple task of being able to address that problem, I think, helps people towards independent living.
And you attended a partnership meeting that was graced by the Cabinet Secretary for Labour and Social Protection from Kenya and the British Secretary of State for International Development. What was the meeting all about?
It's about bringing together a partnership to address this issue over the next few years. DFID has a great convening ability. And we have some fantastic partners. So today we had KCB in the room, we had Standard Chartered in the room, and these are partnerships which can start to form a small coalition which eventually can grow into a movement.
What was the outcome of the meeting?
Just getting companies to comply, even if they only half comply to the requirement of 5% of their workforce to be people with disability. If they can just address that, then we're going to be making some big progress. Defining who does what in addressing the broader issues of economically empowering people with disability and not looking at them as a charity case. Raising more awareness, improving education of the general population of the challenges and the opportunities more than anything else associated with disability.